The prelude to our first guest tonight, one of the great tight ends in BYU history, also a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs. It is our pleasure to welcome to the Wise Guys the great Matt Bushman. Matt, good evening. Matt, whether you get drafted or not, once you get into the NFL, what's the biggest differences between the college game and the pro game?
I'd say if you're not a special teams menace, figure out how to be a special teams guy just through and through. Um, in college, I didn't do a ton of special teams, and that was a huge wake up call because that is how you get on an active roster. Um, so yeah, just become good friends with any special teams coordinator, assistant special teams, and then also just don't mess up. Like learn your assignment, learn the playbook. Don't make the same mistake twice, because if you like, everyone's going to mess up early on. They throw so much at you. If you can just show that you are coachable and you won't make that same mistake twice, it shows a lot to the coaches.
Special teams, that's the way in.
Yeah, I remember Coach Papinga, when I played, he was telling everybody, and he was a GA at the time, so he was telling everybody, you guys need to play special teams. You guys aren't good enough and big enough prospects to go out and get drafted first round and, have a starting spot. So I remember the next year, Bronco made an emphasis where he had all black. So if you made a special teams roster and you're a starter, you got, black gear to kind of incentivize guys. But, to touch on that, Matt, is that something that you wish you would have had more of a focus on in college, is learning more about special teams and participating in it?
Yeah, definitely. I was fortunate enough to play on offense right away. And that was really cool, but that eliminated that grind of learning special teams early on, being that one of those special teams role players, and then working my way up. I'll blame it mostly on myself, but it kind of felt like, hey, we're going to protect you, Matt. We're not going to throw you in on special teams. And I just kind of wish I would have been thrown in a little bit more. And that was my plan. After hearing it from scouts after my junior year, they were like, hey, you got to be a special teamer. So going into my senior year, I was had that open mind and willingness to do a lot more. But then my Achilles just popped on me. So I had barely any film of special teams, and it's not, a special teams coordinator in the NFL isn't super pumped when a prospect comes in without much experience.
Former Cougar star Matt Bushman on the Wise Guys, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. The story of the day on this Monday and into this week, heading into the NFL draft, is former Cougar quarterback Zach Wilson gets traded from the Jets to the Broncos, now a division rival of yours. What do you think about this fit with head coach Sean Payton for Zach?
Yeah, I think it's good. A fresh start is good when things don't necessarily go your way. For him to have a fresh start, Sean Payton he was great with Drew Brees. He loved Taysom, and from what I know, Taysom loved him. And hopefully it works out for him.
What does Zach need to do when he gets to Denver?
I would just say come in with confidence, but also humility, just saying, hey, I'm willing to do whatever. I'll be a backup. I'll do this or that. Which I know he's going to do. He's been given a tough situation, and I think he's learned from it all. So yeah, he can, if he just goes in with the right mindset, willing to do whatever, be a team guy. When his opportunity comes, I think he'll make the most of it.
So we all know that the quarterback is the face of the franchise, right? And he's, regardless if he wants to be or not, he's just the leader, right? Just by default. How does a guy come into a locker room where the starting position is open and win over, his teammates? Is it, being a team guy and maybe taking out his receivers and, buying lunch for the offensive lineman, or is it, through his play on the field and execution?
It's hard to know. Every locker room's different, and everyone, it's the same, but it's different. And just the culture of what's going on at that time. I think as long as he just focuses on making plays during OTAs and during training camp, that'll prove more than just being buddy-buddy with everyone in the locker room.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about you now. As you look at your NFL experience to date, do you ever pull out those Super Bowl rings and wonder how it is you've got two of them?
Yeah, we have the Super Bowl ceremony coming up, the ring ceremony coming up in June, and that's where we get like the big unveiling of this second ring.
Where did you get him at? What fingers did you give him?
I kind of planned ahead. I was like, you probably get chubbier fingers as you get older. So I put them on my like index fingers. It's back in the closet.
Yeah.
But I should have pulled it out for this interview.
Hey, your street cred is already high enough with Cougar Nation, but yeah, when you can flash the hardware, that's a whole different thing. How would you describe this football journey that you're on?
I'd say it's been unexpected, maybe not as planned, but super grateful for all the experiences that I've been able to learn from. Everyone learns from kind of the roller coaster of life, like the good, the bad, the ugly. And sometimes in my mind, I'm like, why is it not going the way I had envisioned for myself? But there's still been some great things. And being a part of such a great team, the Kansas City Chiefs, learning from Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes, Coach Reed, you name it, just the Chiefs organization is stacked with the culture. And I think wherever that takes me, that'll benefit me in life, just learning from an elite culture.
It's interesting when I see guys that go through struggles and have, injuries and especially when they're big ones that are hard to come back from, when they're close in nature, right? Almost having back to back, you kind of feel for them and they get to a certain level where they're like, I'm just done. I just want to give up. I gave it my all and put my body through a lot. And then, somebody like yourself, you throw in, you got a family too, right? And so that plays a pretty big role into putting the cleats up. But with you didn't give up. What made you, continue down the path?
I feel like a lot of it just came with, it's kind of like a gut feeling of like knowing when it's time to be done and when it's not. You get a feel for the building. You get a feel for, okay, this is for me, my family, like as a dad, as a husband. And yeah, even this past training camp, I was like, not to be cocky or anything, but I played really well. I think I led the team in receptions during OTAs and training camp. Like I played my best on special teams and for some reason still got put on the practice squad. And I was super confused. Didn't understand what happened. I got to play the first game of the season. It was pretty uneventful, but I got to play. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I had like, something's going to happen where I'm going to play another game. Someone's going to throw me a touchdown and I'm either going to stay with the Chiefs or get claimed somewhere else. And it's going to like take off this way. And it still didn't happen. So I'm still figuring things out. Like I didn't sign back with the Chiefs when they offered me to sign back with the futures contract. Just because, like you were saying, like this isn't like a retirement announcement but I am moving away. I'm like taking those steps to move on. And if a great opportunity presents itself in the NFL again, I'll take it. But yeah, it did after a lot of prayer and just a season of thought. It felt like it was time to take the next step and move on from football.
So that's not a retirement announcement, but an announcement that your NFL days may have come to an end. And if so, you leave with 2 Super Bowl rings and a bunch of stories. But can you do it? Can you shift and not? I know your father-in-law is very helpful in that with Chad Lewis, but can you stay away from the game?
I guess we'll find out. I've never had like that identity crisis of stepping away from football. So we'll see. It's definitely going to be weird once OTAs start, training camp starts, and all of that. But yeah, I've tried to network throughout my time in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just because I mean I broke my collarbone that one year.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if I'd get signed back. So it's always I was kind of one that was like, okay, I'm going to go all in, but at the same time, I'm going to think for the future. I'm not just a single guy. Like I have kids, I have a wife. So yeah, I've networked as much as I could, felt what was best, and we're actually living in California right now. And I guess we'll see in a matter of months or what if I can officially move on or close that door, but we're taking it in stride, and maybe I'll be on some flag football team or something in the future. Who knows?
At 6'5", I think you're an easy signee for anyone's flag football team. But the great Matt Bushman letting us know here on the Wise Guys that his time in the NFL has come to an end, barring an Andy Reid midnight call saying, Matt, please come back. But at BYU, you caught 125 passes, over 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns between 2017 and 2019. Let's spend a couple of minutes here and talk about some of the folks that have impacted your life. We'll give you a name, and then you tell us what they have done or what they've meant to you. Does that sound good?
Okay. I thought you were going to say if they've impacted me or not. Just
well, you can be
throw under fire.
You can determine the answer to that. You can say that guy did nothing for me.
Especially if you don't think you'll be back next year.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Andy Reid. Let's start with him.
Yeah, he was. It's awesome. I mean, obviously, his relationship with Chad is like top tier. He's arguably, not even arguably, he's probably his favorite man that he's coached. So it was cool getting the opportunity to be with the Chiefs. He'd always, in the hallway, if it was just like me and him, he'd like whisper under his breath, like, go Cougs, or how's it in Provo, things like that. So it was really cool just being that BYU guy, having that, and just seeing how detailed, prepared, and locked in he was no matter the situation. Like, he is a football coach, football guy through and through. And that's why everyone respects him so much.
What about Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce, great mentor. Really also just really cool to be in the meeting rooms with him, to get to do things, see how he operates outside of football. It is a mystery. His life is crazy, but really cool, down to earth when you're like just with him, whether it's one-on-one or with the other guys in the locker room. He's not the type of guy that's gonna keep his secrets of football. He'll let us know what he's thinking or how he's going to get so open. So there's even times where our tight ends coach is like, well, Travis, you're supposed to run a corner here. And all of the other tight ends are like, oh yeah, I'm running a corner 100%. Like I'm going to do my job so I don't have a missed assignment. And Travis is like, oh no, well, it was this coverage, blah, blah, blah. I'm never going to be targeted on a corner. So I turned it into a post and I scored a touchdown. So tight ends coach is just like, all right, got it. And then moving on.
That's classic.
But it's really cool.
That makes a lot of sense why it looks like he freestyles. Like, it doesn't look like, and you'll hear commentators, because you can pick up on route trees, right? And if the number one receiver is doing this route, we can expect this from number two, and so on and so forth. But he looks so out of place.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
He has a lot of freedom on his routes alone, and then when he freestyles on top of the freedom that he has, it's like, how did Mahomes even think that he was going to be over there? And with these amazing defensive ends, the defensive tackles chasing after him, like, how did he even know that Travis was going to be in that spot? So it's really cool. It's confusing how good he is the way he is. Like, sometimes me or another tight end will run a route and we're like, that kind of felt like Travis would. And then you look back on the tape and you're like, that was the most stiff route ever. Like, he's just one of one, and it's fun to watch.
All right, you had a chance to catch some of his passes. One of the greatest that we've seen in our time, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep, great teammate. With the amount of fame and everything that he has, it's cool how inclusive he is with his teammates. And we both have kids that are like in similar ages. So there'd be times like he can't go out in public. He has a security guy, but like he wanted to go to the aquarium. Like he can't just get a ticket. He has to rent out the whole place. So when he does that, he invites all the other players with kids, and it's just kind of a cool family thing. And it's like another just crazy thing. Like, wow, I can't believe you have that life where you can't even go to the store or go on like a regular thing with your kids. You have to rent out the whole venue.
That's nuts.
That is crazy.
But it was really cool that it's like, yeah, I'm a practice squad player. Did I expect that invite? No, but they always came, and it was really cool.
Dave is like that in the Provo Walmart. He's a celebrity like that. He can't go anyway. He always sends me and David Nixon on a run.
It's safer. It's just safer that way.
Okay, next person is Kalani Sitaki.
Kalani, I would just say, man, players coach. The different coaches that I've had, it's kind of like he's not quite Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid has a different dynamic with Kalani, but same thing where like the players just want to succeed for the coach. And I think Kalani has done a good job and gotten the right staff around him so that he can be that player's coach. And yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I remember on my mission, I was like, oh shoot, we're having a coaching change. I don't know much about Kalani. I think he recruited me at Utah. And then, yeah, we had our ups and downs of seasons where we weren't winning as much as we had hoped, but he was always a great coach and really cool to me.
All right, let's go right to your father-in-law, Chad Lewis, another guy who played outstanding tight end at BYU, also had some really bad luck at just the wrong times on the football field, kept him from the Super Bowl, but never kept him from being first class. How about Chad?
Yeah, also mentor, just seeing the success that he had, the relationships that he had in the NFL and continues to have with all those people. It shows the type of person that he is, where it's not just like a surface level relationship. Like everyone wants Chad in their life. So that's been cool. Just even with like the network opportunities that I talked about, like because he knows so many people, I'm able to still get to know people that just through his relationships, and that's been beneficial. And just a great mentor. It's like he's 20 or so years ahead of Emily and I. Like we kind of had similar lives, and it's cool just to kind of bounce ideas back and forth.
Yeah, and as a grandpa, he can just spoil your kids left and right, and it's totally guilt-free. That's what we do.
That's right. That's right.
My advice is do not let them stay past 7 o'clock, because that Coke, like sodas,
sugar,
I'm like, why are you giving my 3-year-old?
You give them treats right till midnight if you're the grandparent.
That's literally what happens. And then you come in, from a date night, and you're still like on that high because you have a break, and then you get to your parents' house to pick up your kids, and they're bouncing on the wall, and they don't go to bed till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
We get that right.
So
grandparents get that right.
So what I did was I started adjusting. I said, okay, date night is over at 7 o'clock. That gives us a good 5 hours to put them down. So that's my advice for you.
It's a strategy.
Good point.
We'll throw a hot route at you for this next one, which is Emily, your wife.
Yeah, supporter in everything that I've done. Like I said, I feel like when we met in college, I was always like, yeah, I think I can be an NFL player. Like I can do this. And she was believed in me, down to go that route. And this hasn't been the most like glorified career for me. There's been ups and downs. I've been cut. I've been cut every year and put on the practice squad. Thankfully, I still had a job on the practice squad, but there's a lot of moving. There's a lot of back and forth. It's not the money that you think might be. So it's been great having her positive, the one that believes in me when I get cut. She's the most mad when I would get cut and be like, man, what are they thinking? And then we have to tone it back a little bit. And but no, just super grateful for her. Great mom, amazing wife, and this next chapter, she's been nothing but supportive and has believed in me with this too. So
great.
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
She's classic and an athlete, and there'll be more Bushmans playing ball down the road. All right, we have to ask you.
Two daughters that are incredibly tall right now.
I was going to say
volleyball straight ahead.
Probably my height.
We'll see. We'll see
or
what
basketball.
Volleyball would be sweet, maybe basketball, but yeah. Shoot, if pickleball's a sport in college, that might be fun to watch. Who knows?
It might be by the time.
At this rate, it probably will be.
All right, we have to ask you this one. Taylor Swift, since Taylor Swift and the Chiefs became one, and you and your wife were hanging out with Travis and Taylor. We saw the pictures. So, what about Taylor Swift? What can you tell us?
I don't have much. My wife, Emily, she'd always be like, do you have any Taylor Swift stories? Any gossip that Travis said? I'm like, do you think Travis is just in the locker room telling his girlfriend stories? Like, that's not how it is.
No, he saves it for his podcast.
That's right. That's why it does so well.
Yeah.
No, he would tell things like things that they've done or where he's going, and it was cool. But my wife, she's a Swiftie through and through. She grew up listening to her music. She was super excited to meet her.
Yeah.
That was at like a New Year's Eve party after a game. And yeah, Mahomes threw it. A lot of the team was there, and Travis and Taylor showed up. So it's cool. I mean, she's like the most famous person in the world, and she would be down to earth at those parties like that.
Really?
And
she's nice.
yes,
and everything?
they had security in the corner and keeping an eye, but she was just like as normal as she could be. She would like try to do that. So it was cool to see someone that with that much fame be down to earth and willing to meet everybody.
Seems to be why so many people admire her, is because of all that, and she seems that way. And I think she was at almost every Chiefs game. Did that when the players would come out, whether you're on the practice squad or what, everyone's there. Is everyone kind of looking up to see if it's a Taylor Swift night upstairs? Does that change the thing, or was it just all battle?
Maybe like the first game, people were like, "Oh, is she actually here?" But it wasn't like there was NFL things like, "Oh, that's Travis like gazing up into the suites. He's like looking for her." I think he was just like looking around, and the camera caught it. And
they have to attach romance to all of it, right? They have to.
Yeah. Yep. But no, it's good stuff. I mean, I guess we got thousands and maybe millions of more Chiefs fans because of her. So, I'm sure the rest of the league isn't too happy about it, but the Chiefs are.
Well, before Brian hits you up with these 5 questions, and then we'll let you go, we're talking with Matt Bushman from BYU, who moments ago said that his football time has come to an end. When you think about what the game's done for you, made you a superstar at BYU, and you have 2 Super Bowl rings, even though you didn't get to play as much as you'd hoped. You caught passes from Mahomes. You're friends with Travis Kelce. You're at a party with Taylor Swift. But for you and your wife, as you've built your family, there's Andy Reid and all the guys that you just mentioned. That's a pretty cool run. Do you have an appreciation for it, or are you still too close to being in it and getting out of it to grasp it?
No, there's definitely an appreciation for it. You think as a little kid, it's like, that doesn't seem that long ago. I started playing tackle football when I was 4, growing up in Louisiana as a little kid, and you're like a little bobblehead running around. And then you get a little bit better in high school and you're like, wait, I could probably go D1. And then you get a little bit better and you're like, whoa, if this like keeps improving, I could go to the NFL. And yeah, once you get to the NFL and things don't necessarily go your way, it's like, yeah, you get caught up in it and you kind of see not the dark side, but just like the other parts of it where you're like, man, why is this not going as well? And it's easy to not be appreciative, but no, I'm definitely appreciative of what I've been able to overcome and the experiences that I've been able to have. Like I'll be able to carry those with me forever. In 20 years, I'll say I'll pull out the Super Bowl rings and say I actually played a little bit in those games and tell the grandkids this and that. So no, it's been awesome, and I hope that teammates could see that I was just real and supportive of them, and just a guy that worked hard, tried to make it happen.
That's fantastic.
I wonder if technology. So when I played, right, and I look back. My time in the Mountain West, and we were on the mountain. I mean, you couldn't even look at, make out numbers,
right,
and names. And if technology continues to increase the way it is, in 20 years, you could literally show your grandkids that, hey, show them, Travis Kelce and say, that's me. That was me, actually.
Hey, with AI,
yeah, be able to do some AI or something.
With AI, we can put all of us in the NFL. No one know the difference. All right, Matt. Here come 5 quick questions at you. These are just fun to get to know you in a way that a lot of folks don't. Bilo, you ready?
Yep. All right. And this is kind of rapid fire, so like 2-minute drill. Favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans.
Titans classic.
Favorite singer, band, or band?
Singer, band. Shoot. Dang.
This gets
lately.
This gets everything.
Dang, I know it's a 2-minute drill, but I'm like all over the place with music. I'm like literally any day could be anywhere. So
what did you just listen to? What did you just listen to?
On the way here from home from work, I was listening to some country. Just all over the place.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
I like to call that culture.
Keith Urban's my favorite, and he's country, so it can be a little bit of everything.
If you like everything, you're cultured, so that's a good thing.
I'll take that.
Favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Nice, that's a good one. Favorite BYU moment?
And it doesn't have to necessarily be football, but your favorite BYU moment.
No, I'd say football. It was like a freezing game. It was kind of snowy. We beat Boise State when they were still undefeated in ranked.
Yeah.
And we had that 4th down trick play that I scored on. That was a cool one.
Now, on that play, you start heading downfield. At what point do you realize you're wide open? This is going to work. If I think it was Baylor Romney, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken, you just need to make sure Baylor gets you the ball. How many yards downfield did you go, oh my gosh, this is going to work?
Yeah, it was like once I kind of swam, there's a safety that like bit up on the fake. So I did like a little hand swipe. And once I swiped him, I knew I was going to score. But it's one of those things where it's like you're so open that the ball's just in the air forever. So you're like, please don't drop it. Please don't drop it. So yeah, that would have been horrible if I would have dropped it.
That would have, and you didn't drop it. It made for a spectacular couple of touchdowns for you that night.
Okay, last one is favorite Taylor Swift moment.
Taylor Swift moment had to be shaking her hand, meeting her. Pretty sweet.
All right.
Those are 5 good questions for Matt Bushman. You're welcome on this show anytime. And now that you're available on the weekends when you're up for home games, let us know. We'll get you on our game day show on BYU TV. And you're remain a legend at BYU with how you play the tight end position. And no matter what anyone says, you have more Super Bowl rings than most every BYU football player that ever suited up in the history of the program since 1922. And we wish you the very best in your new business venture. And we're so glad to have you on tonight. Appreciate you. Say hi to Emily, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's the great Matt Bushman, former Kansas City Chief and Super Bowl champion. And right.